You're moving through the test, baby. You are wheeling and dealing. You get to a question where you know this answer is true. You click it and you move on. But let's pause because that is the exact moment where this test got you. Because this particular question was not asking for a true statement, it was asking for something else, and you slid right past the key word that told you so. Today, we are breaking down negative questions, the ones that contain the words not, least, and except. Those three keywords, plus their cousins, because there are a couple of more, are the ones that are quietly costing you the most points. This is the third question type in this series, and it is the one that punishes speed more than any other question type. You can know every single fact in that question and still get it wrong. Let me show you why this happens and the three moves that you can do in order to stop it. Here's what makes this question type different. On a regular question, there are three wrong answers and one absolute correct answer. However, on a not or except question, that is reverse. There's three answers that are true, and those true answers are the trap. Think about what your brain has been doing for the last hour of the exam. You read a question, you find the correct answer, you click it, and you move on. That's called pattern recognition, and that's what your brain should be doing. It's doing the right thing. Except when you get to one of these questions where you have to actively remind yourself to reverse what your brain has been trained to do. You might come across a question that asks, all of the following are true except. And that one word, that one keyword, except, is the one that many people oversee. Sometimes the word is capitalized, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's bolded, sometimes it is not. However, if you are reading too fast, speeding through the test because you're up against the clock, you are up against mental fatigue, your brain is going to do what it has been doing all day long, that same routine. Read the question, scan the answers, find the correct one, and move on. You didn't miss the question because you didn't know the material. You missed the question because you missed that key word that tells your brain that you need to reverse order the way you respond to this question. That distinction really matters. So I want to sit on that for a second. Here's the frustrating part. Your score report will never tell you that this happened. You'll get a number at the end of your exam, and you don't know what questions you've missed. You don't know what questions you've gotten right. All you see is a low sub area score, and you are supposed to guess what you need to do next. So, what do? You next? You go and you study more content because that's what we've been trained to do. You fail, you study harder. When the real leak is in the design of the question. And unless someone has explicitly taught you that these questions are designed in a specific way, you don't know that that's what you need to be focusing on. This is what I call a test literacy gap. You do not need to go and study more content. What you need to learn is test taking strategies on how to build these skills. And that takes about a week to learn, specifically if you have someone like me that is going to teach you these specific gaps and these specific strategies that are on these exams. So, I told you that there are three moves that you can do when you experience or when you reach a question that has the keywords not, except, or least. So, let's jump into what those three moves are. Move number one, catch the word. Your single focus should be the question stem. You are scanning for those three words not, except, least, plus their cousins. Which of the following is false? Which is inappropriate? And all of the following are true except. Those are the cousins of the negative question stems. When you find one of those keywords, put your cursor directly under that word and then reread the question stem. Read it slowly and on purpose, and build that physical habit of moving your cursor to find the keyword. Anchoring the cursor and forcing your brain to reread registers that this question stem is different. It tells your brain that this question is flipped. You cannot outfocus fatigue in a 3-hour exam, okay? But you can build a habit that doesn't depend on your focus. It's that physical habit in actually putting your cursor to the keyword and forcing yourself to reread. Move number two, say the question in its flipped form before you answer the question. All of the following are effective except. This tells me that all of these strategies are good and one is not. So my job is to find the strategy that is not. Flipping the question in your brain takes what, 30 seconds max? And it'll completely change how you read those options. So now, when you read a true statement, you won't be tricked by it because you have already told yourself that those true statements are the decoys. What you're looking for is the false statement or the one that is the bad strategy. You flip the job from find the right answer to find the odd one out. It's the same question, different strategy. Move number 3, go down the answer options and label each one true or false. We're not going off vibes, okay? We're not going off memory. I want you to actually physically write it down. Take a look at option A. Is this true? Yes, mark it T. Take a look at option B. Is it true? Yes, mark it T. Take a look at option 3. Is it not true? Oh, okay, great. Mark it F for false. This strategy does two things. First, it slows you down. It slows you down specifically where the test is designed for you to go fast. Second, it is a built in error check. If you are reading the options and you come across two options that are false, you know something is wrong. So you need to go back and reread the question stem to make sure you have a clear understanding of what the question is asking for before going back through those answers to label again. So let's go through an example so you can see how these 3 moves actually work. This is just a very generic question, and I specifically use generic questions because these types of questions come across all ILTS exams, regardless of the content area that you are testing for. So let's take a look at the question. All of the following are characteristics of formative assessment except. So, move number 1, I catch the word accept and I mark it. Move number 2, let's flip the question. That tells me that 3 of these things are true and one is not. One is not a form of formative assessment. So I know I'm telling my brain I'm looking for the one that is the odd one out. Move number 3. Now it's time to move down the option list. Let's take a look at the first option. It is used to adjust instruction while learning is happening. Well, yes, that is true. So I'm going to mark it with a T. Option 2, it is low stakes and ungraded. Well, yeah, that is true. That is a formative assessment. So I'll mark that as a T. Option number 3, it gives the teacher real time information about student understanding. Well, yes, that is also true. So I'm going to mark it with a T. Option number 4, it evaluates mastery at the end of a unit for a grade. Well, I know that's not formative assessment. That's a summative assessment. So that is false. And I know that false is my answer. If we would have missed that keyword except, all of these answers are correct. So we just click something and we move on. So here's what I want you to take from this series. And this question type, more than any other, proves it. This exam is not measuring what you know. This exam is measuring if you know how to take this exam. That is test literacy all day, every day. Yes, there are some content pieces on this exam, and you have to be a subject and you must be a subject matter expert. But that is what your teacher preparation program prepares you for. That is what 240 tutoring prepares you for. That is what Mometrics prepares you for. That is the preparation of the content. However, if you don't know the specific tricks that the test writers use, the specific questions that they use, the specific types of questions that are used on this test, you go in, it's like walking into a new city without a map. You're lost, you're blind. And so I think that's where a lot of people get confused in terms of they think they need more content, they think they need to go back and study more, but that is not always the case. Now, sometimes that is the case. Sometimes there are people that have specific content gaps, but most of the time, you do not have a content gap. Specifically, if you are scoring in the 220 to 230 marks on your exam, it's not a content gap, okay? It is a test literacy gap. The same way we need financial literacy, digital literacy, all of the literacies, we also need test literacy. You don't need, again, 6 weeks, you don't need 6 months. You just need targeted, focused practice on how to take a standardized test, and specifically how to take the ILTS exam. And if you want more practice like this and not to just sit and watch me do it, however grateful that I am that you are here, I offer a Wednesday guided practice where I walk through a specific question exclusively for my email list. Every week, I take a strategy from that week's video and I break it down into a full worked example. Plus, I give you one to try on your own, and it's completely free. All you have to do is sign up for my email list, and I will even throw in a bonus. You will get a free copy of my score decoder. That is designed to really help you understand the actual number that you got on your ILTS score report. So if you're interested, click the link in the description box below. And if you are preparing for a retake and you want me to take a look at your score report as well as your specific situation, that is something that I also offer. And it's something that I do one on one. So it's there for you if you need it. We tackle the fourth and final question type in this series. And if you are running out of time when you are taking your ILTS exam, that video is going to be for you. So be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and most importantly, share it with someone who needs it because it is imperative that we all get over the hurdle. I'll see you all next week. Bye.